Hi everyone, Julia here, recording this November 5th, 2022, and I was going to just talk about our informed fields, our biofields, our auras, which are all based on our vibrational frequency, our resonance. And I work in biofield tuning, which totally deals with that, and we can find stuck spots in your biofield that are usually linked to past trauma, and we can even pinpoint approximate ages and kind of the emotion, but not actually the trauma. But yeah, so we find this all the time, that it's not only about you thinking certain things and always thinking positive and being focused on what you want, etc. That's great, and that does affect your frequency. But if there are other things affecting it in an opposite way, then it depends on, it's either going to neutralize things to where there's no change, or maybe even go in the direction the other way that you don't want to go. So Eugene just had a video about this on Star Show, a YouTube channel, and he talks about how really the best informed field is no informed field. You just go with the flow. You just get in that resonance, and where you're just resonating at the proper frequency, and everything will just unfold for you just the way you want it in so many ways. And as I talked about before, there's a lot of things that affect our frequencies. If we're always getting triggered and angry about things, especially if it's things we have no control of, that's going to affect our frequency in a negative way. Or, whatever kind of negative emotion we get triggered and have. Also, what we put into our minds, what music we listen to, what other media we absorb, the people we're around. That's going to affect our frequency. What we put into our bodies affects our frequency. And like Eugene was saying, even if you believe that it's okay to eat animal products, it doesn't mean that it's really good for you. And I'm saying that it affects your frequency. To have the optimal frequency, best thing to do is eat from nature directly, and eat what digests the most easily. Pretty simple. And this whole food issue that we have in today's world is just insane. All the processed stuff, the stuff that people drink that don't even quench their thirst. It's so crazy. And all the psychoactive substances, sugar, caffeine, and who knows what all those other chemicals do. I know that personally, I literally get a buzz when I eat certain junk food. So they know what they're doing. They even do little tests to make sure they have the optimal crunch, etc. Can y'all hear the bees here? We're going to start a beehive. I think we should start it sooner than later. They're still going. But yeah, this whole processed food crap, man. To tell yourself, oh, I can eat this stuff and it's not going to affect my health, or I can drink alcohol every day and I won't ever become addicted to it, or I can eat sugar every day and won't become addicted to it. You can tell yourself that all you want, but it's not going to make it the truth. And so when we really get real with ourselves about diet, we'll see that mostly the reason we eat is for comfort. And again, food is the most abused drug there is. And a lot of that's, well, so-called food, I should say. And a lot of that's due to all the sugar they put in there. But now they have way more than sugar to entice us all to indulge in this crap. But yeah, and it's tricky when you're out there in the real world and have to deal, especially this time of year. Everybody has all the parties and food. And look at people. Just look at people everywhere. Look how many people are obese and how the young people are dying now before even the pandemic. And yeah, we're not doing ourselves any favors by doing mind over matter when it comes to putting stuff in our bodies that don't belong there and that could ultimately be detrimental to our health. So I know that topic triggers so many people, especially the topic of eating meat. But is it really necessary? Ask yourself that sincerely. Is it really necessary for you to eat meat? And I say if you think it is necessary, then please find a way to kill humanely your own food and skin it and clean it and all that stuff, because when you just go buy an animal like a whole chicken at the grocery store for $4, you don't really see what's behind all that. So again, I know this topic triggers a lot of people, and I know some people will unsubscribe because they don't want to be told that they shouldn't eat meat, but you shouldn't eat meat. You just shouldn't. I mean, if you want to get your protein, there are other places to get it. If you really think you need protein. A lot of people say we don't need the protein, we need the amino acids which come in the fruit. And there are more and more people who are going back to the natural hygienic diet of mostly fruit. And time will tell, but the ones that have been doing it long term for decades, they look really good. They're holding out really well. And I think some of these people that lived real long lives, despite what they ate, they probably would have lived way longer had they eaten the proper foods that our body's meant to eat. And plus, the people who are living to be 100 and stuff now, they didn't have access to all this processed crap that we're eating now. And often they got their meat directly from the farmer. I mean, this factory farming, the way they torture animals, and then the way they process it and chemicalize it. I mean, really, what gives on that? If you really were a meat eater, then you would be able to bite into a freshly dead animal and relish and delight in getting the blood and the intestine parts in your mouth, and just like the animals do. And we don't like that. When we want to eat meat, we have to season it and cook it and sometimes make it unidentifiable. So really, and again, I know this topic triggers a lot of people, and like Eugene says, if you're triggered, then good, because your heart is probably telling you that that's the way it is. And nobody's saying don't eat meat, but if you're gonna eat meat, well, we are saying don't eat meat. But if you're gonna eat meat, then consider going and hunting for your meat and doing all that stuff. Go Ted Nugent on it. And I guarantee you, even though he eats meat, meat he's eating is way healthier than what you're getting at the grocery store. But anyway, yeah, it's just one of those things that I'll never really understand, how people can love their pets and then bite into a bacon sandwich. And especially when most of us know that pigs are smarter than dogs. You know, these animals are all sweet beings too, and they shouldn't be a commodity. And just the fact that it's so cheap to purchase meat, it's often cheaper than fruit by the pound or by the kilo, says so much, you know. It's just really gotten out of hand. And I'm glad that more and more people have stopped eating meat. Of course, there are plenty of unhealthy vegans because they go from eating meat to eating fake meat and processed foods, which is what I did for many years. But yeah, I mean, we're just meant to eat natural food in its raw form mostly. And it's pretty simple, really. And everybody has the choice. And we have the temptations of culture. But when you really consider our anatomy and physiology, we are made to consume mostly fruit. Alright, I hope you didn't get triggered too bad. Thanks for listening. Remember to always focus on what you want. And always help others when you can. And I'll talk to you next time. Ciao, ciao.